There was a small wooden box sitting on Noah's desk. Inside it were 10 rejection letters. 10. Each one represented a dream that had failed. And on the night he received the 10th letter, Noah did something he had never done before. He put his head down on the desk and cried. Not because he had failed, but because, for the first time, he was seriously thinking about quitting. Noah was 20 years old, living in a small town where most people knew his name and almost everyone had an opinion about his future. His father repaired old machines in a tiny workshop. His mother worked long hours at a bakery. They did not have much money, but they had always given Noah one thing freely. They believed in him. Ever since he was a child, Noah loved building things. Broken radios, old fans, toy cars, anything with wires, wheels, screws, or moving parts. While other children played outside, Noah would sit on the floor with a screwdriver in his hand, trying to understand how things worked. One afternoon, when Noah was 14, he found an old computer in the trash behind a repair shop. The screen was cracked. The keyboard was missing several keys. The machine barely worked, but Noah carried it home like it was treasure. His father looked at it and laughed. "You really think you can fix that?" Noah smiled. "I don't know." He placed the computer on the kitchen table. "But I want to try." It took him 3 weeks. He watched free tutorials. He read old manuals. He took the machine apart. Then he put it back together. The first time he pressed the power button, nothing happened. Noah stared at the black screen. He pressed it again. Nothing. He tried another cable. Nothing. He checked the battery. Still nothing. His father walked into the kitchen. "Broken?" Noah nodded. His father smiled. "Then you learned something." Noah looked up. "What?" His father pointed at the computer. "You learned that it is broken," Noah laughed. "That doesn't sound very useful." "It is," his father said. "Now you know where not to start next time." That sentence stayed with Noah. Years later, when Noah decided he wanted to build a low-cost device that could help small farms monitor soil moisture and reduce wasted water, he remembered it. He believed the idea could change his life, maybe even change other people's lives. But there was one problem. No one else believed it was good enough. His first application for a local technology competition was rejected. No explanation, just a short email. "Thank you for your submission. Unfortunately, your project was not selected." Noah was disappointed, but he was not destroyed. He made changes. He improved the design. He applied again. Rejected. The second time hurt more. He applied to another competition. Rejected. Then another. Rejected. By the fourth rejection, Noah stopped telling people when he submitted applications. He was tired of hearing the same questions. "Did you get in?" "No." "Maybe you should try something else." "You need to be realistic." "You're spending too much time on this." The words were not cruel. That almost made them worse. Because sometimes the people who doubt you are not trying to hurt you, they are simply afraid that you will get hurt. Noah understood that. But understanding did not make rejection easier. He kept working. At night, he sat at his desk until his eyes became heavy. During the day, he helped his father at the workshop. He saved money for parts. Sometimes he could afford only one component. Sometimes he had to use old parts from broken machines. His prototype looked nothing like the polished products he saw online. It was messy. Wires were everywhere. The case was made from cheap plastic. The screen was too small. The battery failed constantly. But it worked. Sometimes. And sometimes was enough to keep Noah going. Then came his 5th attempt. This time, something different happened. He made it to the final interview. For the first time, Noah thought, maybe this is it. He prepared for days. He practiced his presentation in front of the mirror. He wrote answers to difficult questions. He even wore the only formal shirt he owned. When he entered the interview room, 3 judges were waiting. One of them looked at his prototype, another looked at the numbers. The third asked, "Why should anyone invest in this?" Noah answered honestly, "Because small farmers can't always afford expensive technology. I want to build something simple enough for them to use and affordable enough for them to keep." The judges asked more questions. Noah answered every one. When he left the building, he felt something he had not felt in months: hope. 3 days later, the email arrived. Rejected. Noah read it once, then again. Then he closed his laptop. He did not cry. He simply sat there. For hours. His fifth failure had hurt differently. Because this time, he had come close enough to imagine success. And sometimes the hardest failures are the ones that make success feel possible. Still, Noah continued. 6th attempt, rejected. 7th, rejected. 8th, rejected. By the 9th attempt, even Noah began to wonder if everyone else was right. Maybe he was wasting his time. Maybe his idea was not good. Maybe determination was not enough. One evening, his mother found him sitting alone in the workshop. His prototype was on the floor. A broken sensor lay beside it. Noah was staring at the wall. His mother sat next to him. "You haven't eaten." "I'm not hungry." She looked at the device. "Another failure?" Noah nodded. Then he finally said the words he had been keeping inside. "I think I'm done." His mother was quiet. She did not give him a speech. She did not say never give up. She simply asked, "Do you want to stop because you no longer believe in the idea?" Noah thought about it. "No." "Then why?" He looked down. "Because I'm tired of proving myself." His mother nodded. "That is different." Noah looked at her. She continued. "You are allowed to be tired, Noah. You are allowed to be disappointed. But don't make a permanent decision on the worst night of your life." Noah said nothing. She stood up. Before leaving, she added, "Rest if you need to, but don't confuse rest with surrender." That night, Noah did not work. For the first time in months, he slept. The next morning, something had changed. Not outside him. Inside him. He looked at the 9 rejection letters in the wooden box. Then he looked at his prototype. And he realized something uncomfortable. For months, he had been treating every rejection as proof that he was not good enough. But what if rejection was not a verdict? What if it was information? He opened every rejection email. He read every comment. He wrote down every criticism. One judge had said the device was too complicated. Another had questioned its battery life. Someone else had said farmers might not understand how to use it. A fourth had said the design was too expensive to produce. Noah had spent months trying to prove that his original idea was right. He had never seriously asked whether the idea needed to change. That was the turning point. He did not need to become a different person. He needed to build a better version. So he started again, not from zero. From experience, he simplified the device. He removed features nobody needed. He made the instructions easier. He improved the battery. He found a cheaper sensor. He visited 2 local farms and asked farmers what they actually wanted. One farmer told him, "I don't need something impressive. I need something that works." That sentence changed everything. Noah stopped building for judges. He started building for people. For the next 3 months, he worked differently. Every failure became a question. If the battery died, he asked why. If the sensor gave the wrong reading, he tested it. If someone could not understand the instructions, he rewrote them. He stopped saying, "This failed." Instead, he began saying, "This taught me something." The difference seemed small, but it changed how he felt. Failure was no longer a wall. It became a map. Then came his 10th application. The 10th. Noah knew the number. He could feel the weight of it. He submitted the improved device to a National Young Innovators program, and then he waited 1 day, 2 days, a week, nothing. He tried not to think about it. He failed. Every morning he checked his email. Nothing. One Friday evening, he was helping his father close the workshop when his phone vibrated. Noah looked at the screen. An email. He opened it. His father noticed his face change. What happened? Noah did not answer. He read the message again. Then he sat down. His father became worried. "Noah?" Noah looked up. "We got accepted." His father stared at him. "What?" "They accepted the project." For several seconds, neither of them moved. Then his father smiled. The same man who had once laughed at that broken computer pulled Noah into a hug. But the story did not end there. The program gave Noah access to engineers, mentors, and a small amount of funding. For the first time, his idea had a real chance, but success did not suddenly become easy. The prototype failed during testing. A supplier delivered the wrong parts. The battery overheated. A test device stopped working in the middle of a demonstration. Noah panicked. For a moment, the old fear returned. What if I fail again? Then he remembered the wooden box. 10 rejection letters. 10 moments that had once felt like endings. They had not been endings. They had been instructions. Noah fixed the device. Then he tested it again and again. Months later, a small group of farmers began using the improved system. It was not a billion-dollar company. It did not make Noah famous overnight. There were no crowds cheering for him. But one morning, Noah received a message from a farmer who had been using the device. The message was simple. "Your system helped me stop wasting water. Thank you." Noah read it several times. Then he opened the wooden box. Inside were 10 rejection letters. He could have thrown them away. Instead, he kept them. Because those letters no longer represented failure. They represented the road that brought him there. Years later, Noah still kept the box. Whenever someone asked him how he became successful, he never started with the acceptance email. He started with the 10 rejections. Because the truth was, the acceptance changed his circumstances. The failures changed him. They taught him patience. They taught him humility. They taught him to listen. They taught him that an idea can be wrong without your life being wrong. And most importantly, they taught him the difference between failing and being finished. Noah had failed 10 times. But he had never failed at the one thing that mattered most. He had never stopped learning, he had never stopped moving, and he had never allowed one painful chapter to decide how the story would end. Maybe you are standing in your own 10th failure right now. Maybe you applied for the job and got rejected. Maybe the business failed. Maybe someone walked away. Maybe you tried to change your life and slipped back into the same old habits. Maybe you worked hard while everyone else seemed to move ahead. And perhaps you are asking the question Noah asked that night in the workshop. Maybe I'm done. If that is where you are, remember this. You do not have to pretend that failure does not hurt. It does. You do not have to smile when you are disappointed. You do not have to act strong every second. Rest. Cry. Take a breath. Step away for a while if you need to. But before you quit forever, ask yourself one honest question. Do I truly want to give up, or am I simply exhausted from trying? Those are not the same thing. Sometimes you don't need a new dream. You need a new approach. Sometimes you don't need more confidence. You need more experience. Sometimes the door is not opening because you are not ready to walk through it yet. And sometimes the thing you call failure is simply life teaching you what success requires. The 10th rejection might not be the end. It might be the moment you finally understand what the first 9 were trying to teach you, so keep going. Not blindly, not endlessly without learning. Keep going with courage. Change what needs to change. Learn from what went wrong. Ask better questions. Take another step, because your story is not finished just because this chapter hurts. And remember Noah's wooden box. 10 failures. 10 painful moments. 10 reasons to quit. But also 10 lessons. 10 chances to grow. 10 steps toward the person he eventually became. You may have failed before. You may fail again. But failure is not the opposite of success. Sometimes, failure is the road that teaches you how to reach it. So if you are standing at the edge of giving up today, take one more look at the road behind you. You have survived every failure that once convinced you that you would not. Maybe this one is different. Maybe this is the one that changes everything. Not because success is guaranteed, but because you finally learned that falling down is not the same as staying down. Your next chapter is still unwritten. And as long as you are willing to turn the page, the story is not over.